I'm drinking whiskey, I know nothing can go wrong. When I'm drinking whiskey, only time my mind is strong. When I got my bottle is when I'm standing tall. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I don't feel nothing at all. Oh, when I'm good and drunken, can't nobody bring me down. I like to drink my whiskey when nobody is around. I know my empty bottle's the only one that understands that when I'm drinking whiskey, I forget the man I am. Whiskey, my hands don't ever shake. When I'm drinking whiskey, I don't lie in bed awake. 'Cause when I got my bottle, I don't care if I'm alive. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I ain't afraid to die. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I ain't afraid to die.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your comfy host, the Church of Failure. And with me, as always, is my trusty yet scared
Get ready,
co-host,
novel, bro.
Ayrton McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I had like an hour and a half spiral of looking at freaky alien fish, which just gives me more reasons not to go to the ocean.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but just in lieu of the meme, I've got a new stream starts soon overlay.
Yeah, I like it.
And there's even a reminder link on the page now that I'll turn off, obviously, when we get ready to do the review and everything. But yeah, donate to Ayrton's Lunch Money Fund. There's a link there if you want to help Ayrton get more than a pack of crackers and an Arizona iced tea. Yeah, man.
Ooh, and today's a tight week. I had rent, car insurance, and my phone bill due all at once.
You don't like space that shit out? I mean, I don't either. I'm not judging you, but I figured.
Well, normally, normally, yes. It just happened to, rotate in such a way that they all kind of coincided.
Oh, your bills don't like always fall at the same time every month?
No.
That's horseshit.
Well, my phone bill does.
Man, my rent is like, I've got all my bills spaced out to where I know what I can like dodge for a week or two here and there. So, I mean, I
technically did dodge my rent for like a week.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that life. But yeah, help your boy out. Let's get him some dollar menu going. Anyway,
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy. Throw the extra 25 or 50 cent or however much it is for the barbecue sauce, so he can put it on his chicken sandwich. Yeah, man. So, alien fish. Tell me more about this.
Okay, so I posted a link to an article in the show suggestions chat. So I was scrolling through Twitter, and it was like weird, like dolphin or weird creature with the head of a dolphin, sharp teeth, the body of an eel, and no eyes washes up on some beach in Mexico. I was like, that's fucking weird looking. So I'm looking at the article, and I scroll, and it says, then there's like some pictures below of other weird fish, and then like links to like a Russian man finding some fish with like freaky like rainbow colored eyes and like translucent red teeth, and there's like a fish with like bright yellow eyes. There's some weird like octopus squid thing with like black and white tentacles, and it was just a rabbit hole of me scrolling through just clicking the next article after the other, looking at all these weird ass fish and freaking myself out more.
Man,
fuck that shit.
You know, this is more of a reason why. Holy shit, that's the weirdest fish I've ever seen. Oh wait, that's a hipster. I'm sorry.
See?
This thing just looks like a hand with a tail.
See?
And too many fingers.
Fucking weird looking, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I didn't want to sleep tonight. Thank you for this, Ayrton. I'm sure nobody wanted to sleep tonight. And I'm sure nobody ever wants to go swimming again.
You asked about it before the stream.
No. No. Let's be clear here. Let me be clear. You brought it up before the stream, and I'm like, wait, what? Alien fish? What the fuck are you talking about? And you're like, yeah, you haven't heard about this? Well, you hear about everything.
And then you said, hold it for the show.
I said, hold it for the show because it was 2 minutes before the show, you asshole. I said, we don't have time to get into this right now. Hold on. We'll cover it on the show. But if I would have known it was that, I would have been like, man, I think people want to sleep tonight. Maybe we should save that for a Monday. Anyway, second.
Yeah, so I think the Space Force needs to go build a wall around the planet because I'm pretty sure these are some like spies or something.
Oh yeah, they're
spying on the planet.
Well, either that,
they're the ones that cause Corona and the locusts and the fires in Australia.
Are you sure it's not just like the discarded anal probes?
I mean, that's a good theory. I'll have to look into that. I'll ask the ancient aliens, the extraterrestrials guy.
Okay. Yeah, so you can all thank Ayrton for that. Also, the second order of business is the amount of affinity I've grown to love of the fellow kids meme. If you've been in the Discord with me recently, you know that is how I announce myself with a different bottom text every time. Like when I'm in a wrestling Discord with people who talk about wrestling a lot. I'll do how do you do, my fellow marks, or some shit like that. The stream starts soon, fellow boomers. I don't know, fellow Spurgs is another one that I've made. I've got a whole folder full of these for any different situation. I don't know why, but
because why not?
Well, I've rediscovered that meme, and it makes me happy. It takes me back to the days when memes were simple and innocent, and not weaponized cartoon frogs.
True.
Do you see that on the kill stream where they're talking about they're making a documentary about Pepe?
I saw that, or saw something vaguely about it, and like the creator is trying to like de-radicalize Pepe or something like that.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
It's a goddamn meme.
Yeah. Well,
he's not some incel simp who tried to join ISIS. It's a fucking cartoon, goddammit.
Yeah. Oh,
we almost deserve, this virus.
Oh Lord. No, we do. We definitely do. Did you see the gym stream earlier? I know Novel Bro and
yes,
Matt Christie caught that.
I was watching it.
Turtle the fuck up, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
But yes, I have
Always fun.
I have reached Bibble levels of enlightenment. I have found the comfy spot at my stream desk. So, Novel Bro, be prepared for when I just fall asleep at the mic, and hopefully I'll be muted because I'll be
And
yawning.
I'm just stuck here.
Yeah, and Ayrton's just stuck here pulling random people in, not able to go to work tomorrow. But I'm sorry, I'm doing the stream. I don't wake up to go to work tomorrow either. So it's like a 24-hour stream of just Ayrton trying to man the fort and keep the channel from being deleted, or trying to get the
The
channel
show must
deleted.
go on. It depends on my mood. I'd say 5 hours in, I'd probably be like, "Fuck it."
Start playing the porno in the background.
Start reading Mein Kampf.
We better get a lot of super chats for that. Anyway, so anybody that saw that show knows that the nationwide total for coronavirus is now, or not nationwide, the worldwide total is over 70,000. The death toll is over 1,600.
Current is 71,331, and the death total is 1,775.
Yeah. So we also have seen that this shit can reinfect you and give you a massive heart attack. It can destroy your sperm count and your testicles and your kidneys. Seems pretty terrible. Just a cold, bro.
Just wash your hands.
Yeah, just keep washing your hands. Eat the bats. I'm drinking my bat scotch right now. I wonder, does Batman call his scotch bat scotch? Keep bat mini bottles in the utility belt. These are questions we should ask ourselves, people.
They really are. I think once the virus hits 100,000 infections, we should do like just a Batman episode.
Okay. Oh, speaking of special episodes, you realize we're only 11 subscribers away from a 300 mark.
I do. It's crazy.
It's like an 8-hour stream in our future.
Whew.
Talking Meyer v. Wade. Doing a fundraiser for Meyer versus Wade.
I'm gonna get one of those like ball things that like pregnant women sit on for their back.
Yeah.
You know, those giant like exercise balls.
You have a weird way of saying 2 bottles of booze.
Well, I don't want everyone to like outright know I'm an alcoholic. Just want them to assume.
What, so I'm alone in this venture? You're just gonna leave me alone in my stigmatism of being the drunk?
I mean, like I said, they all assume it.
What? Oh, okay.
Uh-oh, Matt's koofing.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna coof. Oh, no. Oh, no. Matt, no. Oh, wait. I think I actually have something for this.
Oh, you're beating me to it.
I always do.
Now wait a minute, Matt! No! Matt, no! So yeah, apparently because I'm a terrible host and I am not able to keep a schedule because I have to wage cook all day every day. We've gotten 3 weeks behind on our 52 reviews, and that's just simply unacceptable. So I figured, probably a good time to catch up. We've still got Bone in the queue. We've read it. We just haven't reviewed it. We've still got a comic donated to the show by Mac50 that came from one of his video games. I also
I have found that Sonic has a large running, like a long running series that's been going on. So I
Really?
thought we might look at some of that and see what a Sonic comic book looks like. Because I'm sitting here thinking at this movie that I went to. Anybody that watched the show last night knows that I took my family to see Sonic for Valentine's Day, and well, for Saturday after Valentine's Day, I guess, and mainly to stick it to Birds of Prey. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, how do you get a cohesive storyline put together for a movie based on a video game that really doesn't have a whole lot of storyline, right? Like,
Yeah, I was curious about that.
evil robot guy makes traps and worlds and all this other shit, and you defeat him, right? That's the gimmick.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, there's been such a long running comic book that maybe they pulled something from that. That might be something worth it looking at. Mm.
Hmm. Now, is this going to be like super cheesy, like
Oh,
mid '90s
it's probably gonna be
comic?
fucking awful. Like, I'm not even gonna joke. It's probably gonna be awful. But they've been going for fucking ever. So
Well, yeah, the Sonic fandom's fucking crazy.
eh. So anyway, think we've rambled on long enough. Let's go ahead and start looking at 52. You ready?
All right.
You ready for that?
Just about. Okay.
Not the whole basis of the episode or anything.
I mean, I am. I just have to get to the right issue. Where am I? Because I, totally should have done that earlier.
No, definitely not.
Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Green Lanterns.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we open the issue with Booster Gold fighting an unknown villain, somebody we really haven't seen in the books before, right?
Yeah, it kind of looks like Doctor Doom mixed with Iron Man. I was confused for a second.
Which actually did happen in the books, but anyway. It's Manthrax is this character's name, and he gives the classic "Curse you, Booster Gold," which cheesy as fuck. And then you kind of cut to a scene where Booster Gold's passing him a fucking check, right? And this is where you finally realize that Booster's intentions across this whole series have just been less than noble. He's setting shit up to increase his profitability. It's really all about the money for him at this point. So he
kind of had some suspicions, but
right. Well, that's going to come back to bite him in the ass later. I just want you to point. I just want to point that out. But after this whole situation, why is that still there? Okay. After this whole situation, Booster flies off because he's got a meeting with an endorsement or some shit. And then you get this awesome full page spread of the Green Lanterns fighting the Mighty 10 in China.
China #1.
Hong Kong #4. But
China #Koof.
They're apparently attempting to apprehend a villain from Chinese airspace, and that just doesn't work out for them. They get stopped by China's superhero coalition, and eventually Black Adam comes in because that's kind of his job now. We've got some
Be an
dissent.
inconvenience.
We've got some dissent in the chat. I apparently am too boring. This is a comfy stream, man. We're not yelling. I'm tired. We just want to review some books, hang out, talk a little shit. Sorry it doesn't fit what you were looking for. Thanks for stopping by, though. We appreciate it. But anyway, you see a little bit of the bureaucracy in play here of China, and it's really interesting to see like government interference with superheroes. But that's kind of the play here. It really reminds me a lot
Yeah,
of Civil War, like when they had to register and it was a big deal. But the Chinese superheroes are all having to like get sanction to use like their abilities and to apprehend and to like engage. It's really weird to see, but it kind of puts I don't know, it puts a finger on the pulse of where Chinese differ from America and how the landscape is changing. So I don't know.
yeah, and I always find that interesting, like conceptually, like when American superheroes like are in another country. I always find that political aspect of those interactions interesting.
But they just kind of get into it at this point with the Rush or with the Chinese. Um, and it just I don't know. It doesn't seem to work out. The Green Lanterns seem to be getting their asses handed to them a little bit, just because they're trying to apprehend an enemy. And here's the thing, though: the Green Lanterns really shouldn't have to answer to Earth authority because they have authority on an intergalactic level. That'd kind of be like telling,
Yeah,
like the local police telling the FBI to get the fuck out of here, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I did think it was kind of weird, and I like how there's a Chinese Hawkeye. Just want to point that out.
well, technically in this universe it would be a Chinese Green Arrow. But
Well, I mean, like the costume and the color scheme and everything.
yeah, I mean I can see that. Maybe that may be a little bit of a swipe. I don't know. There have been some allegations of swiping taking place at DC and Marvel and all that good stuff, and it's not really unheard of when you have
Oh yeah,
a pretty simple layout to copy or whatever. But then we check in, and this is strangely like these are some of my favorite interactions. But we check in with Dr. Magnus and Dr. Tio Morrow, and while these are some of the most boring like shots in the entire book because it's just two like guys sitting around talking between a plexiglass screen, just the level of understanding that these two polar opposites have, like the dichotomy of these two
yeah.
characters, it I don't know, it brings me back to like 80s DC when everything was just kind of like a lot more ham-handed as far as the dialogue goes. But this actually just shows how the two of them just have a mutual respect for one another, even though they're opposite sides of the same coin. You got Tio Morrow, who turns everything into a Death Ray or an evil robot. You've got Will Magnus, who created the Metal Men, who were all, a superhero good guy team, basically.
I mean, and don't we all want a death ray? Just saying.
I mean, I don't, but. But anyway, they're having a conversation. They've taken all of Tio Morrow's research on the missing scientist away. And I want to take this point to bring up the biggest issue I have with this book so far is that even up to this point, like we got day one. We have no idea how the week is progressing in this book. They're getting lazier and lazier about that. So 3 storylines in, we don't even know if we're on day 2 or if this is all happening in the same day and we're only getting one day in a book. But it eventually, well, actually, no, it does eventually skip to day 2. I just missed it because I was so pissed off. But you only get 2 days in this book. So we're about to get to the second day. But first, we have to check back in with the Green Lanterns. And they get their guy, and are assisted by the Red Rockets, which are a Russian armor team. It's basically a Russian Iron Man Corps. They're assisted by the Red Rockets into Russian airspace where they can take their apprehended villain or whatever. And Black Adam shows up, smacks them around a little bit.
Weird alien guy.
Yeah, Black Adam showed up, smacked them around a little bit, and explained to them that eventually he's going to bring all of the enemies of America, basically. China, Iran, Malaysia, and Russia, and all of these other countries together into his coalition where he defends their airspace and their sovereignty from, America's superheroes. And the Green Lanterns kind of make the point that I did earlier, like, we're space policemen. Like, Earth is our territory.
Yeah.
You don't have jurisdiction over
fucking
us.
want.
Yeah. And it really just kind of makes you wonder, like, again, how does the world handle that kind of authority? Like, not a whole lot you can do to stop a Green Lantern besides send a Superman after him. But it seems like
Right.
that's kind of what they're setting Black Adam up to be the world's policeman to police the superheroes. But what stops somebody like Black Adam from becoming a dictator at that point? Especially without Superman around.
Yeah. Well, there's also the one thing I was confused about. Why the construct of the Green Lantern symbol floating out, like, in front of their chest? Didn't understand that.
It's it's been a thing for a while, actually. It's part of their uniform. And it doesn't always appear, but it's kind of been a recurring thing for a while. It doesn't really appear that often in this book. Was it one?
It's just
one
super
scene?
random. Yeah. Yeah, just one panel.
What panel is that?
Page 136.
Oh yeah, that's just when they light their rings up or something. I don't know. It's like a beacon or whatever. But when their rings are charged and they're in full action or whatever, it almost seems like they're always like that. Now, also on that page, do you notice that Jon Stewart kind of looks like Black Adam?
Yeah, and that same panel, like looking up at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up on screen for the people. Yeah, well, maybe that was just kind of an error with the art there, but he looks like Black Adam. His face is even colored like him.
Yeah, and his costume, like, if you look, the green doesn't go all the way over his shoulders,
Right.
like up to his neck.
Yeah. And it's almost like they meant to put Black Adam there for some reason or another. Really weird. But anyway. Oh, well. I still love the art in this book, but like I said, you can definitely see where it was rushed in a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
But that takes you to the final scene of the book. And in this scene, we meet back up with Booster Gold, who has found Rip Hunter's lair or whatever, and it's disheveled as shit. But it's one of my favorite scenes in the book because of all.
And I like how Rip
Easter
Hunter
eggs.
just has a magnet hanging from a string.
Actually, that's
Is that an Easter egg to something?
That is.
Okay.
That's Professor Hyatt's time pool magnet.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can bring something up on that. That's actually it's actually mentioned in the trade paperback form of this. Hyatt's time pool magnet. Oh, there we go.
I thought it was just like, ooh, magnets are sciencey.
It's actually from a book called The Physics of Superheroes. It's an actual written book. So, yeah. I didn't just know that, but I knew that from reading the trade. But yeah, on the board, there's all kind of references to the storyline. And reading the storyline in the beginning, like you have no idea what any of this is in reference to. But by the end of it, you kind of have an idea of where all these storylines go, with the exception of one or two that never went anywhere. And again, that's also explained in the trade. But there are numbered pages on the ground, and 52 is missing. But 52s are written all over the blackboard. All the clocks are stopped at the same time, which appears to be 5 minutes to midnight. There's a little sign
Which
for 520
They
Kane
really
Street.
dropped the ball.
Go ahead.
They could have made it. They could have made the clock stop at 5:20.
Yeah. But there is a little sign for 520 Kane Street. Time is broken is written everywhere, and on the last page of the book, you actually get a shot of Booster Gold's picture pasted to the wall and arrows pointing to him with the words, "It's all his fault," written everywhere. So, but again, Rip Hunter's nowhere to be found. His place is destroyed. His time traveling machine is destroyed, and this is the only person that Booster thought could help him with Skeets' malfunction. We're still dealing with that. That hasn't been resolved yet. It's one of those storylines that hasn't picked up a lot. Like, they mention it once or twice, but it just doesn't, give you any kind of gratification until this point where you realize that the problems are bigger than you assume. Again, biggest problem with the issue. It's supposed to be a story about an entire week, and it spanned 2 whole days. So they could have done a lot more. But again, I get the time constraints, and you kind of need to tell parts of these stories to build up to later on. But it's still, like, you could have stretched that Green Lantern battle out to be one day, the Booster Gold thing to be one day. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, you could have made the. Well, I always enjoy the Green Lantern stuff, especially Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's just fun. He's practical with his ring. That's what I like about the way he utilizes it. But no, I mean, it definitely was like super fast. Like, even though the couple, like, what, we have 2 pages with Professor Morrow in the asylum, and then 3 with Booster Gold. The rest is all action with the Green Lantern, so it went by pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, the whole 3 issues.
Definitely with you.
Reading them in sequence, it doesn't take long to read through these because so much happens so quickly.
No.
And, there's not a lot of exposition because all of these characters have already been introduced. We already know what they're going through. But
yeah, and I definitely with you on the only having 2 days is kind of lame. But at the same time, we fell off trying to do one of these a week, so I could see what kind of pressure they could be under to try and get
absolutely
one of these out every single week.
But in fairness,
I get it.
In fairness, we did have shows, we did have guests. It wasn't like we weren't able to do one of these. We had other things to cover. We had other people to have on. I mean, we had Poe on last week, for God's sake. It was
True.
It was a great
I'm still
episode.
not sure if I'm glad that I'm following him on Twitter.
I'm definitely not, but I'm still following him. And
it's like a horrible car wreck. Just can't look away.
Yeah, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I am very tired, so I'm just not as high energy as I usually am. And this is just like I said, it's a chill Sunday stream. I'm trying not to work myself up into a frenzy over Corona Chan. We're gonna review these books. We're gonna talk about some stuff. You know, if you're here for the laughing and the yelling and the swearing, I mean, it might happen. You never know. Something could happen to piss me off. But right now, you know, I'm having a scotch, relaxed. I'm in a comfy spot. I'm in full bibble mode. Um, you know,
I'm about to crack open my second beer.
yeah. I mean, it's just a calm, relaxed, chill show. You guys have anything you want to ask about? Feel free to. Little not ASMR stream because who the fuck would want to listen to my voice to relax? But you know. Anyway.
Church ASMR.
Oh man, that would just be me going.
Was that supposed to be you snoring or?
No, that was me doing the buzzing thing with my lips. Yeah.
Okay. Because you know,
That kind of noise, you know.
could probably get more viewers doing an ASMR channel where you're just asleep and snoring in your chair.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, week 7 opening. You're gonna put me to sleep, making me like pretend to be asleep. Go fuck yourself. But I'm tired. I've been up.
You know, no one can see you. Like you didn't actually have to close your eyes to do that, right?
You have no idea how comfy I am right now, Abe. I don't think you understand. Yes, I did. Get mad, Dillard Drod says. You know what? Fuck you, Dillard. Get your ass on this show right now, or I'm going to come over there and I'm going to kick your not Canadian ass and make you write me a handwritten apology and go get me some maple syrup. I mean, hey man, how's it going? Is that mad enough for you? Was that good? Is that what you wanted? I do it for the fans. Whatever the fans want, I'll give it to them.
Well, with some limitations, I hope.
No, none.
You know they're gonna ask you to, dip your testicles in soy sauce live now, right?
I mean, as long as I don't have to be on camera, sure.
Ooh, he's pulling shots at you.
Them's fighting words, Dillard. Them's fighting words, son. You, ooh, buddy.
I got scared. I peed a little.
Yeah, you better fucking start on that handwritten apology calling my scotch for girly, man. You can insult me. You can insult my sisters. Never insult my drink of choice. Anyway, week 7 opens up. You got Starfire, Adam Strange, and Animal Man still stranded on this planet, and they're still trying to get this Thanagarian strip. I gotta go to work in 4 hours. Why does everybody got to be at work in 4 hours? Like, what is 4 hours from now? 4 hours from now is like 3 a.m. to me. Like, I don't understand you people. What do you do for a living?
Novel Bro is on the other side of the world.
Look, Novel Bro, I assume he has to go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm pretty sure he just sets people up chimneys all day. Like, I'm pretty sure he just hides bodies for some mafia somewhere. Dillard lives in America. He probably does a normal job, so I don't know what the fuck normal job he's doing. Dillard, are you a porn star? Is that what you do for a living to fund your comic habit? What are you doing at 3 a.m.?
I mean, you might be onto something.
Have I seen you in one of your features, sir? Oh man. In 3 hours from me now. So you're not denying that you dispose of bodies for a mafia somewhere. Good. We now have confirmation that Novel Bro is most definitely not getting rid of bodies for people. You know, I said this was a chill stream, and now I've gotten excited. You need to calm down.
Take another sip.
I'm not even like leaning back anymore. Like I'm sitting up in my normal position. You know, I'm hunched over. Like I'm hunched up, like getting ready to fucking. Can confirm he is. Darp says start time is 1 a.m. and I have eggs delivered. Oh, so you are a porn star. Are those fertilized eggs, sir? Just fucking around. No, thanks for stopping in. We got to get you back on sometime. Uh, you know, I gotta get you back on so I can back the Canadian Shield live on air, promote it again, talk about how awesome Rick Piper is. But anyway,
And the buckler.
Well, the buckler needs no introduction. But anyway, issue 7, week 7 opens up on this alien planet with Starfire, Adam Strange, and Animal Man, and they're still fucking around with the Thanagarian ship trying to get it to work. And Adam Strange points out that the fruit that Starfire and Animal Man have been eating have like fucked up their psyches, right?
Yeah.
And
Same
Starfire
kind of Garden of Eve-ish allegory or something.
And Starfire like flies off, pissed off about it, whatever. And that's pretty much all we get from them. But it's kind of a brief reminder. We haven't seen them in a few issues at this point. It's been 3 or 4 issues since they've been mentioned, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, this is the day 1 opening, even though it's not labeled. I'm gonna call it the day 1 opening because day 2 is the next sequence where we check back in with Renee Montoya. Be honest, my wife wouldn't.
Who finally has a cast.
I'd be honest, my wife wouldn't. I sympathize with your plight, Dillard. I understand. I feel bad when I get too rowdy some nights when everybody's trying to open my freaking wrist. You know, it is February, which is categorically the grayest month of all time, and I do know that some people have made the statement that they would slit their wrist just to see color. Not that I support that in any way. Please, kid, don't. Well, actually, if your kid's listening to this, don't. Period. But you know, please, adults, boomers, don't slit your wrist. We don't encourage that. It was just a meme. But yeah, just to see some color.
And that's what the comics are for. You're welcome.
How pathetic is it that we live in a world where you have to do that anytime you make any kind of joke? Like, Jesus Christ. But
yeah, fucking good old. We're the good old days of YouTube where it was just a lawless wasteland.
Oh man, we got in too late, man. We got in too late. We could be here talking about cookies and loaves of bread and Holocausters and all the cool things that we never got to talk about because we were born too late. We were just born too late.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the book before I get too far sidetracked. Go gentle into that good night, brother. Apparently, I need to work for some dumb reason. I don't know. I can't be a kept man. You leave your shirt on too much. That's the problem. Your shirt's always on, and you know you apparently have standards. Because I could probably find you a sugar mama, but not one you want. That's not gonna happen.
I mean, I'm up for a new racket.
Yeah, but you already have low standards. Like I don't want you to find a sugar mama because you never show up to the show again. You would immediately quit. You'd be like, nope, fuck you. Got it made now. Anyway, day 2 opens up with Renee Montoya. She 3 weeks after the fact is still investigating this case. I
feel like that math is wrong on their timing. I feel like it's been like 2 weeks.
Why don't you check while I go through this? Because Why don't you check back and see when they had the fight? Because I'm thinking they're right. I'm thinking it was week 4 where they got in the fight at Kane Street.
All right, I'll check. Oh, yeah, it was week 4.
Oh, see.
Hmm.
But anyway, she's still investigating. You see some newspaper clippings that reference Black Adam, and then you see another one that talks about the Kane family. And this is as good a time as any, but I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but the books imply that there was a relationship between Renee Montoya and Kate Kane. Spoiler alert for any of you that have had the misfortune of seeing Batwoman, you know that Kate Kane is Batwoman, who will make an appearance in this comic book in the absence of Batman. But mainly that's because of the show, and what are we hiding from people? But
Yeah, refuse to watch that show.
she, well, I mean, if you saw, which I do encourage people to watch, if you see the Infinite Crisis crossover, she's involved in that as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, Renee Montoya decides to go pay Kate Kane a visit, and I don't think we follow her directly. I think there's an interlude in between that. We catch up to
We cut to
Booster Gold, and this is the first time you have an actual crossover between storylines in this book. You know, Ralph Dibny shows up to ask Booster if he can help track down this resurrection cult. And Booster just blows him the fuck off, right? Just again going back to the beginning of the last book where you realize what a piece of trash Booster was at this point. You're really not supposed to like Booster Gold at this point. Like, they build it up to where maybe you should, maybe he's okay, and he's just, an opportunist.
He's a piece of shit.
But yeah, at this point, just 7 weeks in, like, they just rip all that out from under you, and you're like, no, this guy's just a piece of trash. There's a bit of an encounter here where Ralph confronts Booster. He's like, look, you can see into the future. You know what's about to happen, whatever. And you're using it to get rich. You couldn't have told me about my wife dying so that maybe I could have stopped it? And he raises a valid point because, it also, which is mentioned later on, it also brings up the fact that Booster Gold let his best friend die when he should have known, like, if I had the ability to see into the future or to know about things that happen in the future and had an encyclopedic knowledge of history as a robot companion, you don't think that I would have that robot the very first day that I joined the Justice League, have that robot run through history and tell me about all of the times that I would be needed to help save them from a fate worse than death?
You would think you would do that, but
I mean, that would be day one. I'd be like, yo, get me a printout to the nearest wireless printer of all of the dates where we're going to have some issues, and I won't tell them so that it still happens, but we'll be able to save them.
Yeah, which there's also the whole that could fuck up the timeline though.
Well, everything Booster's doing right now fucks up the timeline. It's not like he gives a fuck.
Yeah, true, but still.
I mean, everything Booster does at least in comics, comics language, everything Booster does creates another fucking world in the multiverse. Every action he takes once he goes back in time. He takes a shit, there's another multiverse where he didn't take a shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, standard time travel fare.
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't give a fuck about fucking up the timeline at that point. Sure, maybe I'd only get one thing crossed off the list, but, at least everyone would know I tried. And they wouldn't be able to slam me up against the wall asking me why I didn't save their wife. Well, after I saved so-and-so's wife, everything changed. Sorry, buddy. But at this point, he's just irredeemable.
Which you would think he would use that defense now, but
he can't because he has an encyclopedia, because apparently time travel doesn't work that way. At least not in the way that he understands it. So, some people will tell you, and time travel's so fucked. Like, the idea of time travel is just so fucked, right?
yeah. Like, sometimes writers follow kind of the quote strict rules of time travel. Sometimes they don't. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
It's kind of exhausting.
Some people follow the butterfly effect theory, where everything you do changes everything else. And some people follow the theory of everything you do is preordained and was already going to happen anyway, and you're just fulfilling that destiny. Like, it's exhausting. It really is.
Yeah.
So, but here they're using it's preordained, you were here to do it anyway. Skeets is just there to tell you what to do. He was always there to tell you what to do, and you always did it. This is how it was always going to happen. That's the line of travel we're taking here, supposedly. Except it's not happening that way, and Skeets is fucking up, and that's why they're the problem. But there's also a phone call that's happening here that Ralph Dibny interrupts, and it seems like Booster's either being extorted. We don't really know what's going on, but it's not pleasant. He's very pissed off and angry. So, again, it's kind of a dull encounter until the blow up where Ralph convinces him to try and be a better person or whatever, and that's where we leave off. Let's see, that is day 3, and also in day 3, I'm guessing we check back in with Renee Montoya. She shows up at the Kane residence. There's a little bit of a preamble here about how she used the good soap and other shit, and I'm just like, well, that, I don't know, doesn't really seem necessary. You can show her, and they do, you can show them being all goo-goo over each other without having to add that extra panel in. But that panel also is used to, show the vast wealth of the Canes. You get a little bit of backstory that the money is Hamilton from the Hamilton Rifle Corporation, or the Hamilton Rifle Company or whatever, and they own the quote-unquote half of Gotham that the Waynes don't. So, it's a nice little backstory if you've never heard of Cassandra Cain, which a lot of people hadn't at this point. That woman wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I knew she was a thing, but I couldn't have given you all that backstory into her.
But anyway, they have a small back and forth where, again, you see that they obviously still have a history with one another. Hold on one second. I got to take this hoodie off. I'm entirely too warm indoors. Talk about the book or something for just a second.
Okay. He's getting too comfy, folks. He's about to fall asleep. That's really what he's doing. Gotta get his nipples cold for you guys. Get all excited.
I'm not about to fall asleep.
The show's turning sexy. What? Oh, he said something. I don't know where he went. Now, don't get turned on, folks.
I said, I'm not about to fall asleep. Go fuck yourself. I just had a hoodie on. It got warm. I might have been about to fall asleep, but fuck you anyway. I'm an old man, man. I didn't get my nap in today. I'm a boomer. What do you want today? I'm so fucking old. Jesus Christ. But anyway, no, it really is warm in here, and I was just starting to get entirely too hot. I'm just like, man, I really want to take this jacket off, but I have a headset on and it's a pullover.
Oh, it's the worst.
Most exciting thing I've done all day. But yeah, there's a little bit of a passion or whatever exchange between the two of them, and Kate agrees to help Renee, even though they hate each other or something. It's a little weird, but
And I do want to give the writers some credit here. Typically, these kind of alternative relationships, as we will call them, are usually written so horribly. But kind of the flirty tension in this part was actually
really well done.
Well,
yeah, it was well done.
Yeah,
I don't take that away from them. I don't know. In a book this packed with action, I don't know. There's a little too much humanity in this book, if that makes sense. Booster Gold and Ralph Dibny, Renee and Kate Kane.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a little bit egregious. Maybe they should have spaced it out just a little bit more, but I don't know.
That's fair. But I wanted to give the writers credit for that.
Like I said, that's only a critique. It's a single issue. In the 3-issue block that we read this week, it works just fine because it's just the middle issue has a lot of like human interaction in it. But I don't know. So Kate agrees to help Renee, and that's pretty much it. Renee leaves, and we get back to Booster Gold attempting to save the day. And as usual, he does, but there's a small problem. Booster gets interviewed by Lois Lane. Well, during that interview, Manthrax reveals that he's a paid actor and that Booster Gold check bounced and jumped over a building in a single bound kind of shit. The little nod there, but he says he's willing to go to jail just to drag Booster Gold through the mud, basically. And the entire media turns on Booster almost instantly, and then Ralph loses his shit. He calls him out for not saving Sue Dibny. He calls him out for not saving Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle. He calls him out for being like a money grubber and just doing everything he can to market himself and just basically being a piece of trash. And
I kind of love that part.
Yeah. But again, it just all plays in. There's so much of just the human interaction element to this, and just, I don't know. As a single issue, it would be kind of boring. In the grand scheme of the story, it fits perfectly where it falls. But again, it's another one of those issues that I definitely suggest that you don't just pick up and read by itself. Like I said, this worked perfectly as a middle issue.
Yeah, if you jumped in here.
Yeah. It just isn't very good. But
yeah,
again, anywhere after the first or second issue, if you just jump in and don't go back, it doesn't really work as well.
That's very true.
But,
yeah, because you can definitely understand Ralph's blow up on him here.
Yeah,
like going back through everything that's happened to him so far. He's just like, I'm sick of this shit. Fuck this guy.
Right. Well, and all he wanted was Booster's help looking for a resurrection cult. Literally, it would have taken Booster 2 minutes to say, okay, Skeets, what do you know about the resurrection cult? Given Ralph the info, and been on his way. But no, he just decided to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And we cut back over to Starfire, who's still exploring this planet, and she discovers this thing, this weapon, almost. And
it looks like a giant silver shovel.
Yeah, like a spade or whatever. But we also see the owner of it. Because at first I thought it was like a ship or whatever, because of its size. And then you realize it's an implement because you see the creature who it belongs to. I guess the native inhabitant of this planet.
Who the head helmet thing kind of reminded me of Galactus for a second.
He does remind me of a Celestial, if nothing else, but he's not.
Yeah. Since we were bringing up Rips earlier.
No. Novelbro says, I do not fuck with time travel. I can only implant later cultures onto worlds that are earlier on their own timeline. I don't want to touch a time travel trope ever in my creative vocation. That's probably for the best. Most likely for
Yeah,
the best.
I mean, people gave Stephen Moffat a lot of shit for his Doctor Who runs. But I mean, when you think about it, that's a lot of work to keep all that straight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is you kind of have to keep it straight forever. And
Yeah.
let's just put that into perspective, shall we? I mean, let's just take
Okay.
a perspective check. We're dealing with a 52 issue weekly series. And there are obviously going to be some mishaps here and there. There are going to be some situations where, one storyline gets a little off track. Like the timeline with the payment and the weeks worked and all that shit with Renee Montoya in the beginning. Where she was, she was off by like a couple days on it being the full time or whatever.
Right.
How hard is it to keep a story of 52 issues straight in your head for an entire year before you pin the finish? Like, not even with time travel involved, but once you put time travel in, it's an entirely different monster because you have to remember when you planted the seeds to a storyline earlier in the story and when it's supposed to pay off later.
Right. Like the amount of work they must have done just like storyboarding this out.
Yeah, well, they had weekly conference calls and shit. They allude to that in the in the prefaces of the trade or whatever. But it just
because I mean you would have had to plan out at least like the skeleton of the story before you even started a project like this, right?
absolutely.
I mean,
but even so, to keep it all straight, to keep everything that had happened, like we saw it earlier in the art screw up with the Green Lantern and Black Adam, right? I mean, I think I think we can safely say that was a bit of an art screw up.
Oh, most definitely.
Sorry, I heard a dino.
Like it was obvious enough that I noticed it when I was reading through before you brought it up.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Adding time travel is just a whole new level of just fuckery to it, though, right?
Right.
So, let's see here. Let's get the next issue queued up. This one was my favorite of the three. This one was my favorite of the three. I enjoyed this one. It probably went the fastest as well. But
yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into
it. And this is again part of why I got a little bit confused and accidentally read into week 9 a bit.
Week 8 starts off with John Henry Irons asking about his niece's, like, what she's doing, and she's hard at work trying to build herself a new suit of armor because he took her initial suit away, said she needed to earn it, but he then kind of grins to himself that she's actually putting the work in. He goes upstairs, turns the television off, and then realizes that he's still turning into steel. He's still turning into metal. And again, it's one of those storylines that kind of hasn't been touched on since we saw him at the hospital. So
yeah,
something they had to come back around to. I think that's something that you see a lot more in this story than you usually do in comics, because usually when something like that happens, it takes center stage until it's either resolved or becomes part of the character's normal dichotomy. This, however, is a whole different animal, and you kind of have to keep bringing it up to keep people reminded about it before it even gets resolved or you even understand what's happening. So, I don't know. I kind of like that, even though it's a little annoying when you kind of already know what it is.
Yeah,
But
it's again, it's kind of trailing off, kind of keeping sort of the more little bit humanish drama a little bit from the previous issue. Nice
right.
little,
Well, we
I don't know
then
what you would call that.
check over in
Continuation.
Yeah,
That's the word.
we check over in Star City, and you see a guy stealing some diapers and other things from a food store, and then you check, and there's a green arrow being notched and fired, and it wraps up the store owner who's yelling, "Stop that thief!" And Ralph comments, because obviously Ralph and Green Lantern together, you can see that on the screen, but that's what you figure out is that Ralph has made his way to Star City to speak to Green Arrow and ask for his help. And Ralph's like, "You missed," and Green Arrow's like, "I don't think so." He said, "Stop thief," so I aimed for the guy charging $30 for disposable diapers in a disaster zone. You kind of see where Ollie sits and the destruction of Star City, because again, this is after Infinite Crisis, which is, it fucked a lot of stuff up. Like, I don't think they want you to forget how much it fucked up this early in the book, because they kind of keep showing you little tidbits of the aftermath of it.
Yeah.
At first you saw Connor Kent's death and the Superman's loss of his powers and all of that shit. Batman's gone, Wonder Woman's gone. Then you realize that, okay, well, Adam Strange and Starfire and Animal Man are all trapped off world. The people that did make it back made it back fused together and with other people's parts and 25 feet tall. Like, everybody's a little fucked up still. And Star City took a brunt of the hit from the fallout of that. And Oliver Queen just kind of stewing in the remains of it, because he used to be mayor of Star City. And they make reference to that and how he feels responsible, even guilty to a certain point. But he and Ralph track down a lair where the resurrection cult has graffitied the door or whatever, but they're all gone by the time they get there. And then you cut back over to John Henry Irons on day 3, getting checked out by the doctor who he was with in the beginning of the Lex Luthor arc. And
She was also giving him an exam on his skin too.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Elaborate. What? I don't understand what I said.
You said he's getting checked out by the female doctor. And I said she was also giving him an exam too.
How's it going, Rick Piper? Good to see you, buddy. We were talking about you earlier. Your ears must have been burning. But I didn't realize.
Oh, how's she going, hoser?
That was terrible. Never do that again.
We've been talking in Canadian accents at work like all week.
God damn it. Anyway.
I mean, I'll do it for the whole rest of the show if you want. Hey, you know what really knocks for my igloo there, your butt?
You're fired.
That's what I want.
I'll be done.
You can go ahead and talk in Canadian. I'm fine with it. Go ahead. just know that you're fired for the rest of the show. Report back on time Monday, but yeah, you're fired. But yeah, she's examining his skin, and this is where you see that he realizes that it was probably something in Lex Luthor's ring that injected him or some shit. What I want to know is how you don't feel that. Like, I'm sorry, somebody sticks a needle in me, I'm gonna feel it probably. Like, even even if I just think it's like a bee sting or something, I'm at least gonna feel getting poked, right?
You would think so.
Somebody's gonna clip that out. But they determined that this is probably a byproduct of his like mutant metagene like treatment that he's offering people to turn them into superheroes, and he wants a full workup done to see how it's affecting his DNA sequence and all that good shit. Oh yeah, it's always good when we talk about the one and only Rick Piper.
Of course.
But now this is kind of my favorite part of the whole situation. Like, you get a rapid fire of the remaining days of this week of what's happening, and I wish they would do this in every fucking issue. Is what I was getting at earlier. But you get a rapid fire shot of this mystery superhero just running through and saving the fucking day, and always being like preluded by a blinding flash of light and then disappearing before he can even speak a word or get any kind of recognition or anything. And then you cut over to Booster Gold being interviewed about him, and he's just fucking furious. And then you realize he's just shouting off at the mouth at Clark Kent. But yeah, Booster's reputation's in the toilet. He's losing sponsors. He's holding up a Daily Planet that just says gold tarnished. But anyway, and again, how does nobody in the fucking DC universe not realize that Clark Kent is Superman? Like, how many people are built like that in the DC universe, for fuck's sake? Jesus Christ. But
that's probably my favorite thing about Superman.
You check back in with Natasha. She picks up the phone, and she gets a call from the doctor, and said that she's confirmed the test that the Luthor metagene is rewriting his DNA. And Natasha thinks that John willingly took the metagene treatment and was a hypocrite about everything. So later that night,
now this part,
go ahead.
I kind of didn't care for this next part coming up. The conflict seemed a little bit contrived.
Well,
right, because like
not as much.
Luthor, Luthor just announced that he had it. Like, he hadn't started like offering it to people yet at this point in the story, and like she should know that.
True, I'll give you that. I didn't think about that, but I wanted to say that it felt a little more authentic than a lot of the other interactions because it was set up. Also, I think that they purposely put the gratuitous tit shot in there where the spark hit her breast or whatever.
Well, of course, you gotta have the spark hitting the titties.
Yeah. So, I mean, why would
and her shirt changing from green to black.
Right, yeah. But why would you why would you wear anything besides a low-cut halter top when you were
while welding?
Yeah. Like that just seems like the perfect kind.
I mean, that's what I wear when I'm welding.
Live welding stream win there. But
don't tempt me.
But John Henry walks in, and she throws the armor in his face and then storms off. Yeah, I mean, now that you mention that, it did seem a little more I don't know, out of place than anything else. But
Right. And if you think about it, like, she got a call from, like, the doctor from Star Labs that she knows he works with, so clearly, you know, like, something's going on. Like,
and what kind of doctor just gives
if
away your medical information to somebody else? Like, even if it's next to kin, like no, you don't do that. Yes, have him call me back. Thanks.
Right. So I don't know. It was just a little contrived and a little bit too quick of a blow up, I think, at that point. But
I don't know. Just get hot with welding, you know. That's right. But check back in on the planet, and Animal Man and Adam Strange are looking around to try and find Starfire. And Adam Strange is just like, she can take care of herself. And they realize that it's a trap a little bit too late, and now everyone's captured by this giant creature. It's gonna grind them
it's
up.
a trap.
Yeah. But, oh man, we need that on the soundboard.
We need that on the soundboard too.
Great minds, man, or terrible minds, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But at the end of the book, the last day, the first book in probably like 5 where we've gotten all 7 days, Natasha shows up and she's getting harassed by one of the security agents of Lex Luthor. And Luthor spots her in the crowd and basically moves her to the front of the line and signs her up to, quote unquote, get the entire package, all the power. And then you just get some experiments in progress, and you see that she's hooked up to this machine where I would have noped the fuck out as soon as I saw it. You want to hook me into that? Nah, I'm good, bruh.
It's the world's weirdest sex swing.
I would definitely nope the fuck out of that. Jesus. But yeah.
Got a funnel going into the mouth and everything.
That's right. That's right! But those are 3 weeks in 52. All in all, I'd say...
And you have quotes that say, she wants it all.
Yeah.
And she wants it now. So let's give it to her.
Out of context comic book quotes.
If you just saw the bottom half of this page and just saw those 3 quotes and her in that weird machine,
you would think it was a very different comic book, yeah. But I don't know. It's all in all, I feel like the 3 issues, it just kind of proves the point that the story works better as a trade, as a completed piece, than it does in individual pieces. Because no one of these issues was that strong. Like, I've got my personal reasons for liking the last one, mainly because it gives you all 7 days. But
yeah,
no single issue of these 3 were particularly strong. I mean, the arc about Booster losing credibility was good, but it was spread over 2 issues. 3, really. I mean, Booster losing his credibility was spread over all 3 of these issues. So I guess it kind of works out that these 3 issues were grouped together when we fell off for a couple of weeks. But, excuse me. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like any one of these issues would have stood on its own merit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what did
you
you think of them as your first time reading them?
So, well, issue 6 I read, 3 weeks ago. So, so I got mixed up. And started at 7 and went 7, 8, and like halfway through 9. It was like, oh, wait a second. Oh,
wait a minute.
So I read him a little fucky, but I I don't know if I have a favorite out of these three. I think they really work together really well, and also with what I read of issue 9, too, and I think that's probably going to be my basic thought throughout the rest of this is like I don't think I'm going to be able to analyze it as easily as single issues. Just they're starting to connect to more things now, and the issues aren't as standalone as the first like 5
Right.
were. Like the first, you could have jumped in I think the first 5 you could have jumped in, like if you had missed the first couple, and you would have been interested enough to go back and read them. If you had jumped in like 6 to half of 9, if you jumped in there, I'm not sure they're good enough on their own to hook you, but definitely together, like reading it together definitely makes it a lot better.
Okay.
That's my overall take on it.
Well, I saw an issue
So
11. Good.
I was just gonna point out. It was yesterday, right? The 80th anniversary of Green Lantern. So that's some nice.
Yeah.
So that was some nice symmetry there with this review.
Oh yeah. 80 years old. We talked about it yesterday. It might have been Friday or Thursday. I don't remember. I threw
Maybe
the
it was
show
Friday.
link when I saw it.
I don't.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
anyway,
It was sometime over the past couple days.
I enjoyed it, and I really wish that we might have to start doing these in chunks, just to keep up with it. But I really do wish this was enjoyable more on a single issue layer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anybody old enough to get that?
Yeah, and I think that's. Yeah, and I think that's going to be kind of its the weak point of this story. Is that we'll see going. There might, because we're still technically in volume 1 of 4, 5.
Yeah. There's 4 13-issue volumes.
So, it.
They broke
Maybe
it
the
up
first
into quarters.
5 issues of maybe the first 5 issues of volume 2 are the same as this, a little bit more standalone.
They're not.
So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, well.
They're not. Now, here's another question. Do you think we'll actually make it through and finish off 52 issues before the end of the year? Or will we abandon it?
I think
a quarter.
I think we can do it.
But do you think we will? I'm sure we can. Do you think we will?
Well, overall, I'm enjoying the story. So if anything, I might annoy you and be like, "Hey, are we going to do at least 3 issues every couple weeks?"
Let's see. Well, it was my idea, so nothing if I can't stick to it.
Yeah.
I did rope you into this. I'm not like Jeff Smith. I'm not coming down the aisle. Yo, Ayrton, we got tickets. Ayrton, we have tickets for the show, Ayrton.
Can you do a whole show in that voice?
Yes. Yes, I can do a show like this. I will just hold my nose and talk like I'm Donald Trump. Ayrton, we gotta go. You're fired. Is that what the people want? I don't think the people want that.
I don't know. We have 8 people watching now since you started doing that.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'll just get a clothespin. Get a clothespin and put it on my nose, a chip clip or something, right?
Yeah, that'll work.
The new Monster Savage motherfuckers in the new Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion. I miss playing video games. I want to play video games again. I'd like to have free time again. That'd be nice. I can't wait for that. That'll be so good.
One day.
Yeah, one day. And you know what I'm gonna do when I have that time? I'm gonna sleep and I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto 5 because I'm a fucking boomer and that is what I know and what I enjoy.
Hey, I mean, nothing wrong with that.
I even had to cancel my my Magic the Gathering subscription on MTGA because I don't have fucking time to play, so it's just sitting there going to waste. So sad.
Ooh, that's no fun.
No, I love MTGA. I used to play it on the show when we did radio shows. It was the best. But no, now I just work all the time. I'll work and no play makes church a dull boy. Yeah, I'll have free time when my crouch goblins and self-sustain. Absolutely. My plan. My wife doesn't think this is going to work, but my plan is to be moving into an RV when the last one hits 18, and just kind of pin $20 to their shirt, kick them out of the house, and just hit the road, never to be seen or heard from again.
I lived in an RV for a few years. It's fun.
Yeah.
And well, actually, I got some side racket I'm working on that's interesting. Working on getting one of those Amazon stores set up.
Where are you gonna sell? The vape stuff?
No, actually, gonna buy like Hot Wheels cars. You can buy them for like, if you buy enough of them, they're like 65 cents or whatever, and then you sell them on Amazon for like $5.99. Right?
No.
Me and a buddy are working on this together, and then by like mid to end of the summer, my bug should be like completely done, not just drivable like it is now.
Uh-huh.
I think I might take it if it's once it's successful, it might take like a year and just drive around the country. So I'll be streaming from my car in random ass places.
Good Lord, man. You're gonna be a hobo for the rest of your life.
That's my plan that I'm working on.
Are you gonna have a bindle? Are you gonna carry a bindle with you?
A bindle?
Yeah, the little stick with the sack on it.
Oh.
Called a bindle.
No, well, I mean, there's a technical name for those?
Yeah.
Huh. I might have to, or at least like tie one to the top of the car.
Yeah, a bindle is a bag, sack, or carrying device stereotypically used by the American subculture of hobos. A bindle stiff was another name for a hobo who carried a bindle. Bindle is colloquially known as the blanket stick, particularly within the northeastern hobo community.
Huh. All right then.
The more you know.
But yeah, so that's my plan for a racket.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm good with it.
I mean, I'm still gonna do the show. It just.
I mean, shit. Talk to me. We'll go from town to town. We'll pick up like back issues of comic books and sort out the treasures and sell them on your Amazon store.
Oh,
and
there we go.
I'll take all the money from that. Then
I was actually thinking about looking into talking to Samedi and selling alternate comics on Amazon.
I mean, he probably already does that on his own.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. I just thought about that the other day, and I haven't looked to see if they have an Amazon store or not.
But no, the way it works though is you can literally just buy a box of back issues for like 10 cents or a quarter a piece, and then sell them for whatever their grade 4 or lower is worth, which is usually at least cover price. So occasionally you get lucky and get an old
posting in the.
Oh no! What is that?
That's definitely worth pulling up. Sorry
God.
to interrupt you.
What are you doing? Uh,
See, isn't that great?
that is pretty good. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
thank you for that, Einbrecht. I will pull that up.
I love Harrison Ford.
Definitely better than Alien Fish.
Yes, definitely. There's your brain bleach after that.
Harrison Ford weighs in on if Han Solo was a Force ghost in Rise of Skywalker. Force ghost? I have no idea. I have no fucking idea what a Force ghost is, and I don't care. When did I become
That's
Harrison
great.
Ford? Like, when did that happen? I don't remember that transformation.
It's like I remember seeing him talking about filming like the very first Star Wars, and apparently he went up to George Lucas and was like, listen, you might be able to write this shit, but we can't actually say any of this.
You want me to pretend like I understand a drunk guy in a fucking dog costume? What is wrong with you?
And listening to Mark Hamill talk about that stuff is so funny. Just like how bad the dialogue was and how much they had to change on that first movie.
Oh yeah, they probably just ad-libbed all of it. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. Hamill still has like one of like the ridiculous lines memorized or something like that, and he can just rattle it off because it's so stupid and makes no sense, doesn't flow.
That sounds about right.
That's fantastic.
But anyway, I like I said, I apologize for the shock of this not being a wild and rambunctious stream like it was last night. But I felt like we needed kind of a counterbalance, maybe to actually talk about comic books tonight.
Yeah, last night was a little bit insane.
I mean, I love both of those guys though. They're fantastic. But
Oh no, it was great.
anytime you have Cripple Jesus on, you just throw the show script out the window. Like if you have any plans for the show whatsoever, Cripple Jesus is here to fuck them up.
Yeah, basically. And how late were you guys on the call after I left?
Not that long, maybe
Oh, okay.
30 minutes or so, if that.
Oh, okay. Well, because I saw you posted a photo of all your long boxes in the show suggestion, so I assumed you were drunkenly talking about that again.
And fuck you. I could have been soberly talking about it. You don't know. I mean, I wasn't. And you do know. 'Cause I was lit by the end of that show. I just kept drinking every time CJ opened his mouth. I was like, well, there goes the channel. Glug. Take a shot every time CJ makes a Holocaust joke.
Should I tell the chat an early story of when we started the show?
Absolutely.
There was still sticks in my head. I don't know why. It was, I don't know, maybe a month or two in, and Mrs. Church had taken the chapels over to the grand synagogue's place.
She's not Jewish.
Well, synagogues came before churches.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Okay. All right. My in-laws.
And
they weren't my in-laws.
I was trying to stick with the theme, goddammit. And anyways, I think we stayed on the call for till like 2 or 3 in the morning drinking.
I pulled all of my comic books out.
Yeah, it sent me a picture of them.
That's the equivalent of me pulling my dick out, by the way.
Basically. It was a good time. I think that was the night we became like actual internet friends.
Yeah. No, I still hate you. So. That never happened. You hang that up. Yeah, as soon as the show's over, I'm gonna expose you for a ninja on D Live. It'll be great. But no, I do have a extensive comic collection. But
How dare you?
nice. But anyway, it is midnight 10. I'm gonna close up the show now. I appreciate everybody. Thanks, Darb. We're leaving too. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for everybody for stopping by, liking, sharing, all that good shit. And with that, we will be back with more rest, more conviction, and absolutely no idea what we're doing tomorrow night. We may be doing 300 with Novel Bro, depending on if I get a chance to refresh on it or not.
Okay.
I don't know.
And if I have a chance to read it, I should have enough time to read it tomorrow.
I'm all out of meth, so if I don't have a chance to at least get some rest in between now and tomorrow, then I can't necessarily be held to anything. But we're gonna at least try. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. We appreciate all you guys. Thanks for Rick Piper. Before you go, we told Dillard that we needed him back on so that we could back the Canadian Shield on Indiegogo live on air. And
we need to get both. We need to get both of them on together.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we can have a couple of guests on without it getting too out of control. It seems though every time
as long as CJ's not there.
Well, it seems like anytime we have we're gonna have to get the locks changed. Tom McDinney has made a surprise appearance on all of the guest streams lately. But I'm kidding. We love Denny, and we got to have somebody kicking the door down. But yeah, Rick Piper and Dillard Draws need to be on the show so that we can back the Canadian Shield live on air. Do another promotion stream before that runs out. DM me. We'll get it scheduled, buddy. Probably this coming weekend or the week after, but it just depends on when everybody's schedules line up and all that good shit. But we will definitely do it. But anyway, I've got to go to bed. I'll be here cutting very sleepy promos for another hour. So DM me on Twitter.
All right.
We will figure that out. Everyone else, thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. Oh shit, I didn't. Just tag me.
Oh.
Tag me. We were looking at the book. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, you just tag me in the chat or something. We were looking at the chat in the book. I wasn't expecting people to call in. Yeah, just shoot me a message. Somebody, if you see them in the Discord in the waiting room, somebody let me know. But I'm doing a lot over here. Ayrton, and you know what? I'm blaming Ayrton. That's the
I was
standard practice.
looking at the book too.
Yeah, but look, I use that excuse already. Find your own.
God damn it! There's a massive pile of Coke next to me.
Good excuse. Anyway, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks again, guys. Like I said, Rick Piper, we will definitely have you on. I'm sorry about that, buddy. But everybody have a good night, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Good night, everybody.